Welcome to the New York Professional Spotlight. Host Roman Kirzhner sits down with successful professionals from across New York to uncover the stories, strategies, and expertise behind their achievements.
Hello, everyone. Today's our guest is Eric Mangold. He is professional in specific business and wealth management for physicians. And today we will be discussing his success, his lessons, and experience that helps to shape his business. Eric, can you give us like a quick snapshot of your business?
Sure. Roman, thanks for having me here today. So I'm the founder of Argosy Wealth Management. I've been in financial planning for over 16 years, and Argosy Wealth Management has been in operation for almost 4. And we specialize in protecting and building wealth, mostly for physicians. Physicians have a pretty unique, DNA in that they don't get much financial wellness training in med school. They don't get it in residency. They don't get it in their fellowships, and they certainly don't get it when they're launched into their practice trying to heal people. And they focus on their patient outcomes, and a lot of times their own finances take a back burner. And then you fast forward a couple 10 years, 15 years, and they really start feeling behind. And adding to that, what's kind of interesting is many physicians, and many of them will admit this, view money as a taboo topic. They really don't like talking about it. And I've used this example a lot. I have a client who's a psychiatrist in Boston, and she's insanely smart. And she's also very, very sarcastic, so I like her even more. And when we start talking about her finances, she'll stop me and she's like, "Okay, I'm done." I'm like, "What's up?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to talk about this anymore." And I said, "Well, and she's like, I just don't enjoy it, and it's not like in my wheelhouse." And I said, "Yeah, but," I said, "you walk into any room and the average IQ goes up by like 60 points." And she's like, "You know what? That might well be true, but I would rather have my eyeballs tattooed than talk about my finances."
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's a really fascinating business. I'm really related to that as well.
Yeah,
A lot of people, like you mentioned, we're all different, and that's what makes it interesting. But
definitely.
it is a lot of successful, talented people in your business and professionals that you're working with. What sets you apart that comes naturally from rather than other people often find challenging in your business?
That's a really good question. I mean, there's a lot of great financial advisors out there, and I think what it really comes down to is that how do you click with someone, and are they going to do the complete job? If I'm meeting with a new potential client, what's the vibe? Are we going to be able to trust, like, and respect each other's time, our commitment, and what I'm trying to do for them, which is help them get to their own financial summit? And there's a lot of advisors, of course, that are going to say the exact same thing. We also make sure that we're doing the complete job. So we take a strategy where most of the people that we're meeting are you're not just getting out of the gates. There might be in their 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, but we focus first on protecting what they've built so far, because what we found is that people don't want to lose what they've already had. They want to grow. They absolutely want to grow their wealth, but they want to grow their wealth after they've protected what they've built. So we focus on things like that. We focus on the estate plan first, focus on how they're protected first. And then after we know that we've done we checked all the boxes that we possibly have checked, then we move on to, okay, now let's start building and growing that wealth as well. So it's really doing the complete job with that focus on, insulating you as much as you can first off.
Yeah, yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that trust is the first item that you have to establish between yourself and your clients, and that's what it's based on. Without trust, you cannot move forward anyway, like you just mentioned anyway.
100%. I mean, we learn so many intimate details about our clients, and a lot of, I mean, this isn't a prerequisite to become a client, but a lot of my clients become friends because we get to know each other on such an intimate level. I mean, it's not just them. I mean, I share stories about my family as well with them and my experience as well. So yeah, you really understand. I mean, I know very private details about all my clients that I keep confidential, but it's because with that knowledge, with that information, I'm able to put a better plan together for them because we're uncovering their wishes. We're also uncovering the things that they're worried about. And sometimes sharing the things that you're worried about is uncomfortable. And we have to get to the bottom of those in order to make sure that we're covering all the bases that we need to cover.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very critical point, and that's very touching point at its beginning of any business relationship. And in that sense, is if someone wants to become the better at what they do, what advice would you give them?
As a financial advisor or a
Yeah,
physician or
as a financial advisor, I believe.
well, I think there's got to be a real just sense of being genuine. I mean, we're gonna, as I mentioned, uncover a lot of intimate details about our clients, but also, I do share intimate details with if my clients want to know with what's going on in my world because I think it gives us a sense of relating in that, the things that they're going through. Maybe I've gone through them too, but also probably other clients have gone through them too. And, one of the things with being a financial advisor, let's use this as the one piece of advice is that it's easy to be there during good times. It's easy to be there when the markets are up and everybody's 401k statements are going up, their investment statements are going up. It's easy to be there during those times. But it's more important, I would offer, to be there during the bad times when things aren't as rosy. I had a client last September who got laid off at a big Wall Street firm. She was one of my first clients before I really focused on physicians. But she got laid off at a big Wall Street firm after 38 years. And she just got a tap. She was actually also working on a promotion, right? Excuse me, but she got a tap on the shoulder and they said, your time here is up. The first phone call that she made was to her sister. And the second phone call that she made was to me. And she's like, I just need to make sure that I'm okay. And I value that kind of relationship because, she there is that trust factor that you mentioned, but she knows that, listen, I'm on your side. And, the things that we had put in place for her, she was just going to be just fine, but she needed to hear it, especially in that time of crisis. So it's got to be there in good times. We also got to be there in the bad times too.
Yeah, it's a people's business. It's a relationship business. That's makes it interesting and difficult. And for that, I would like to ask you what the biggest challenges in your career that you faced, and how did you learn from them?
So I've had when I started my career, I had a couple of firm hops where I've changed firms a couple of times. I got recruited to a couple different firms and really trying to find the culture. You say financial planning, financial advisory, most people think investing, and that's of course true. But the culture at different firms is so vital. It's so vital because they're all not built the same. And if you're not in the right culture that can help you thrive, the more I thrive, the more my clients are thriving. The more my clients are thriving, the more I'm able to help them. And, there has to be that culture where the clients are coming first and the goal is to help them. And it's not to help somebody inside of my firm first. Clients first, client centric first. Has to be that way. Has to be that way. And unfortunately, I found along the way that there were some firms that weren't like that. And I, jumped ship when I realized that this wasn't going to be a place that put the clients first. So, that's, and moving isn't easy. Moving is not moving a client book of business is not easy. It can be a big pain. And I'm blessed with a great group of clients and client base, but moving isn't easy. So when you realize that that culture isn't the right one for you or the right one for your clients, it's unfortunate. Sometimes you got to pull the trigger and make that move that isn't going to be easy, but in the long run it's going to be better. And that's pretty much where I'm in now is made the move to launch my own firm with my partners, and it's been phenomenal ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you establish that trust and you having and establishing trust it doesn't happen suddenly. It takes time,
It's
and
time.
get the client, it takes time. But once you get it, I believe they can stay with you for life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the
That's
thing
the
too.
whole
This is
point.
a long-term business. This is a long-term relationship with our clients. I mean, I've now, like I said, been in the business for 16 years, and I've seen some kids, new babies get bored, and now they're driving, and kids that were older when my clients came on board with me, and their kids are now going to college and getting new jobs. Like it's awesome to see. I love celebrating successes of my clients. I love hearing the stories. I love hearing the successes. I have a good number of clients now. Their kids are getting ready to go to college, and I love hearing about where they're going to school and how they chose that school. I love hearing about that stuff and how proud their parents are of their kids. And that's some of the things that I truly enjoy is celebrating the successes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And talking about that success and your projects, what kind of exciting projects do you have for the next focusing that you're focusing for next 6 to 12 months, let's say?
So in April of 2025, I launched my own podcast, and it's called Man in Search of Gold. And the premise is, since I work with physicians, is I bring physicians and other healthcare and medical professionals on, and they talk about their journey to medicine, and they also talk about their current endeavors, and they talk about their own relationship with their finances. Because my thought process was, if more physicians hear from their own peers that, hey, I had this issue with my finances too, then they will be more motivated and comfortable with seeking the help and guidance that they need. Whether it's from me, that's great. Obviously, I hope it's for me, but it can be through another trusted advisor too. But the whole premise of the show is a rising tide lifts all boats. The more people realize, hey, you know what? I'm in the same predicament as you're in, or that you were once in, and this is how you got out of it. Okay, now I can go and reach out and get the guidance that I need. So yeah, I started last April, and I would say within the last 4 or 5 months, it's the show has really picked up. No Joe Rogan yet, but I'm getting a few hundred viewers to each of my shows, and having a lot of great conversations about the journey to medicine, which for everyone it's very, very unique, but also really uncovering, why is money for physicians such a taboo topic? And it's again, that's something I'm really excited about.
Yeah. It always starts with one, then 200, then 5,000, and
Yeah.
on and on and on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. And if someone would like to contact you, how they can do that?
Best place is go to my website, which is www.emangold.com. Just my first initial last name, M as in Mary, Angold. So emangold.com. There's going to be some videos there, some free ebooks that people can download. There's a Retire Happy ebook. There is the ebook 5 Things Physicians Can Do to Improve Their Financial Health ebook. So there's a lot of goodies on the website that I think are very helpful. And there's also a clickable. If somebody wants to set up a time with me, they can click on the meeting invite right on my website.
Absolutely, absolutely. Congratulations on how things going well with your career, and from what you said, that many successful professionals doing well, really, really well financially. But when they work and they're doing really well, but when they stop working, probably it's income slow down or dries up, and some of them are looking for alternative investments, and some of them looking for uh, stocks, bonds, and cryptocurrency. And you already gave your thought about it. If you can reiterate, what is your thought about creating income outside of work?
Well, I think that especially working with physicians is that there's so much that's wrapped up into their identity. Being a physician is their identity. And for those physicians that are at or nearing retirement, there's 2 things going on. One is they're changing from saving all of their life and then starting to transition into retiring and then living off of what they've built, but also from a personal standpoint, that identity of being the physician. They're still a physician, but maybe they're not treating patients anymore. And that transition for them, for a lot of them, can be really, really challenging. So it's a lot of things that we talk about in that, we're obviously building the retirement plan and the retirement income plan, but it's also, how do they transition personally and mentally from that role where they were the person that everybody went to for help to then the person that is, maybe taking a little bit of time to relax or travel, but retire. Yeah, that's a big transition. So it's certainly something that we have a very big conversation or multiple conversations about and during our planning process.
Absolutely. I'm grateful for your interview. It's very touching and it's very personal to me, and I hope it's very personal to a lot of people. And I wishing you good luck in all that and help as many people as you can.
Thank you, Roman. I appreciate that. You too.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for listening to the New York Professional Spotlight. If you're a successful New York professional with insights to share, visit nyprofessionalspotlight.com/guest and apply to be featured on the show.